and we rebuilt the planet Saturn without gravity.
This will not go well.
We use the same simulator that they use at Princeton.
Not according to the video you're about to reference. That's a Blender simulation. We'll get to the simulation in a minute. I just need to clear a few things up first.
And the hexagon that's observed at the very top of it, without dark matter, without dark energy, without gravity.
The hexagon at Saturn's North Pole doesn't rely on dark matter or dark energy. No one is claiming that in the scientific community. It doesn't even really require gravity, except insofar as Saturn wouldn't exist without gravity. Rather, all of the current hypotheses, while differing in the details, suggest that the pattern is formed by nonlinear fluid dynamics behavior, which is stabilized by the North Polar vortex, which is at the center of the hexagon. Complicated stuff, but nothing to do with gravity. Now, let's watch the clip.
And there's no gravity whatsoever in this model. There's no center attractor.
That's funny. Let's go watch the original video on YouTube and see.
This is the settings for the particle physics. And you can see that just to confirm that gravity is set to 0. There's no gravity in here at all. So all I'm using is these 4 vortex forces. 4 vortex forces.
So it looks like they turned off gravity but left on force, and they mentioned something about the use of a central force in the description. Almost like they turned off gravity but couldn't keep it together without some other central force holding the particles in place. Strange. Certainly though, even with the limited usage of these central forces and magnetic fields, it would be pretty remarkable if they showed the formation of Saturn at all, right? They'll show that, right?
And when I play it, this is what pops out.
Holy fuck.
Oh, so the particles just spawn in, rotating in a configuration that looks like Saturn? Put another way, they just placed the particles in that configuration by hand and then let them move around afterwards, constrained by the central force that they forgot to mention in the video? You're telling me that they couldn't model Saturn's formation? No way! Also, just as an aside, Blender uses math as taught in school. I can assure you that the internal calculations in Blender use 1 × 1 = 1. How does that work if it's wrong?
And then when I look down at the top, it makes the actual hexagon that NASA has observed on the top of Saturn.
That's not even a damn hexagon, it's a circle. I actually feel like Terrence was deceived by Chris Seeley on this one. Terrence probably didn't know what Chris was doing, and he was so excited for his shower thoughts to work that he just believed Chris. And then he told Joe Rogan, and now 20 million people think Terrence Howard simulated Saturn on a supercomputer. But all his friend did was put particles in a Saturn configuration on Blender and then push play. If he wants people to take this seriously, he needs to actually write up all of the details, including the governing equations of motions for the particle in the simulation and the initial data. Anything else is no better than something you saw on TikTok. And again, if you see this, Terrence, the challenge is out. Let's sit down and have a talk about it.